Hey, it's Brian Mertens, and there's a common struggle that I hear a lot from my mentoring students and from people in general who are wanting to awaken their naturalist instincts and gain a deep understanding of how nature works in your local area. And it's this feeling that, I really want to get out on the land and get to know the plants and the birds and the animals, but I just don't have enough time. My life is overwhelmingly busy. And it's very common for people in this situation to find themselves wishing and wanting to get outside more, but then it doesn't manifest into real results because they're not taking action. And this is bar none the biggest thing that really holds people back from reaching their goals as a naturalist or tracker, someone who knows how to read the landscape and feel at home in the wilderness. So I want to address this issue of, how much time do you really need in order to have a meaningful relationship with nature and make real progress on the awareness skills and build your ecological knowledge? And my answer to that question is pretty much, how much time do you have? And I think one of the things that a lot of times trips people up around getting motivated towards nature is that they have unrealistic expectations about how much time you really need to be investing in order to see results. And what we have to remember is that there will be different strategies for different situations. Someone who has hours and hours of free time every single day to get outside and explore nature is going to approach this a lot differently than someone who only has a few minutes. And the thing that I want to get across here is that you don't have to spend hours of time outside every single day in order to see results. There's really just one goal that absolutely must be there in order for you to move forward, and that is you got to get outside and pay conscious attention to nature. You got to use your eyes and your ears and your mind to ask questions and get curious about, bird activity and the way the plants are growing and how the forest is structured. But whether you do that in a span of 5 minutes or 60 minutes, it works both ways. And I think a lot of people underestimate just how much you really do absorb by getting out there for even a short period of time, if that's all that you have. And, what I always say to people who struggle with feeling too busy to get outside is don't discount the power of 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a very manageable number. And if you can't find 5 minutes in a day to go outside and pay conscious attention in nature, then you got bigger problems in life. But just imagine if you did experience 5 minutes of high quality nature time every day for a year. That would equate to over 30 hours of time spent looking and listening carefully to the natural world. How much further do you think you would be at the end of that year compared to where you were at the start? So we really need to get away from feeling bad or feeling judgment about the amount of time that you spend in nature, because frankly, you can accomplish the big essential goal in as little as 5 minutes if that truly is all the time that you have. And that's exactly the strategy that has worked for me in times when my life gets busy. You just do a little bit every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I would always do it in the evening right after I finish eating, but maybe you would do it, first thing in the morning, or maybe it's the first thing when you get home from your day. And the trick is that you want to create a routine that feels easy, right? So it fits into your life in a very natural way, and you can do it without thinking too much. Now, if you don't like the idea of doing short 5-minute sessions, I know some people aren't into that because it just doesn't feel bulky enough. You can instead go for a weekly routine, right? So don't even worry about getting out there every single day, but once a week or on your days off, take a good 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour to go outside and do your nature studies for the whole week in that time frame. So, what I'm really saying here is that if you want to learn, even if you're very busy, there is a strategy that will work for you. You just got to keep trying different things and always look for what feels easy and manageable. because if it's easy and manageable, then you're going to feel motivated, you're going to feel inspired, and you're going to actually be getting out there and making some really great headway towards your goals. So I'm Brian Mertens, and those are just some of my tips for busy people who want to get outside and experience nature. If you want to learn more about how you can explore tracking and naturalist skills and bird language on a time commitment that works for your lifestyle, go check out my website at naturementor.com.